Hi students, Mr. C here. The next step in our process of building our advanced woods veneered table is we need to go ahead and prep this panel, we have to go ahead and set up the veneer for putting the face veneer on this side and then this side next. It doesn't matter if you're going to do this side or the other side, just whatever side you want to do first, go ahead. But you cannot do both at the same time, okay? I wouldn't recommend it just because it could slip. We don't want to have any problems or any issues, especially because we used a laser to cut our veneer. Now, as you can see here, we have our pieces of veneer, excuse me, and they have been veneer taped together to create this panel. And then we have a little bit of veneer tape on this end and this end, so that way this holds together. Now, on this side right here, we have no tape, no veneer tape whatsoever. This is the side that's going to get glued, okay? This side with the veneer tape on it is the side that's up, okay? So, with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and set this here. And I'm going to go ahead and prep this panel as far as getting tape on the edges, so that way if glue squeezes out, it doesn't get on our beautiful edge veneer that we have here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take a piece of tape, and this is the edge that I'm going to go ahead. This face is the face that I'm going to glue first. Then I'll glue the other face the next day. Okay, so I have a little bit of tape here, and I'll show you this when I'm done, what this should look like, just to make sure that you don't have any issues, because the last thing you want to do is have this urea glue end up squeezing out down the side of the face of the veneer that you already have. And then what's going to happen is since we already sanded this, you really don't have the material to go ahead and sand again. You really want to keep yourself from sanding veneer as much as possible. You just want to do the bare minimum, because it's so thin, you don't want to have the issue of sanding right through it, because if you do that, then you need to scrape off all the veneer and then redo the edge, or re-veneer the edge, is what I mean by redoing it, okay? So what I'm doing here is I'm just putting a little bit of this frog tape, or painter's tape, on the veneer to protect it. Now remember, we don't want to leave this veneer tape on here for too long, okay? Just, you want to put this tape on basically right before you go ahead and glue it, and then as soon as you pull the veneer, the panel out of the bag, the vacuum bag, you want to make sure you take the tape off and then clean up the edges, okay? So now I have both of these done. Now what I want to do is I have this piece. Now this piece of veneer has been laser cut, so it's basically, I had this cut, or I programmed the laser to cut this. Basically, the width only like 1/8 of an inch, 3/16 I think it was, 3/16 longer and wider than what we have. So overhangs just a little bit. With the caul here, it's not going to be a problem when you go ahead and vacuum it down. Just that I wanted to make sure that if it slid just a little bit, very little, that would still be okay. All right. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take this veneer and put it up to the edge, just like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of create a hinge type thing where the veneer is not going to move, and it's set right in its finished spot. So I'm going to put a piece like this. So now we've got those 4 pieces here. So this is going to kind of act like a hinge. I'm going to roll this over. Okay, so let me grab the camera. I can show you exactly what we have going on here. So we have this piece here that's going to wrap over, another one. So we have 4 of these, and then basically this just acts like a hinge. As I pick this up, you can see that's there like that. So this is all set for me to go ahead. I have this one done, and if you look over here, I have this one, and I'll show you those in a second. So this panel here is ready for glue layup, or for glue to be set down on this particular panel. And then what I did was, because I don't want to waste glue, when I go ahead and mix up the glue, I want to make sure that I have enough for all 3 panels here. Now this is the bottom base panel, as you can see, and then I have my hinges, and I have my veneer here, and it's set up where I can just flip this over, and then I have my gluing surface here. I am going to tape off this section here because this is the mortise for the tenons on both ends. And then I have my other panel that's all set here, just like this. And as you can see, there's no veneer tape on this side. The side that goes down, that gets the glue on it, doesn't have any tape or any veneer tape, none of that. And also, we gotta remember, this surface right here, that medium density fiberboard, has already been sanded with 80 grit. That way I remove that sheeny or that shiny surface to the MDF. That way when we go ahead and put our urea glue down, it's really gonna bond the veneer to the MDF panel, and it's become extremely hard. And as you remember from our previous videos, when I talked about different adhesives, that urea glue is probably the best, isn't probably, it is the best glue for this application. So I have all my panels ready. I just have to go ahead and prep my bag, get my cauls set. I need to get my my paper towel and things like that, so that way I don't have any issues when I go ahead and start this process. Remember, before we start any gluing process, we make sure we have everything we need set and ready to go. The last thing you want to do is have your glue down, put it on the surface of something, and then go, oh, I need this or I need that. So in our next video, you're going to see these 3 panels getting glued up and put in the vacuum bag, and we will go ahead from there, okay? Until next time, I'm Mr. C. Bye-bye.